Alright, Slices, so we got the motor pulled out, brought it back down. We're getting ready to power wash it, strip it down, and find out what's wrong with it. And there's more. Look at that stuff coming out. Man. I'm surprised the motor actually survived as long as it did, to tell you the honest truth. Whew, man. Remember, engine or oven cleaner for engine cleaner, right? It's better than using, engine degreaser, but be careful. It'll take the paint off and everything, but I'm telling you, oven cleaner, that's what you want to use. If you don't care about paint and you need to repaint it, just go ahead and soak that sucker with some oven cleaner, and it'll take the paint off, the grease. It gets it all nice and clean, ready for paint. There it is. You can see where it took some of the paint off. I probably could have done another coat and it probably would have taken all the rest of the paint off. But it came out spotless. Take a look at these valve stems. Now we went ahead and put new valves in there. Checked the valve seats. Now I don't think we put new valve springs. I don't remember, but I know we put new valves in there and stuff like that. But you can tell some of these are pretty crusty. So two of these look kind of washed out. Can you tell which ones? So the head was salvageable. There was nothing wrong with the head. I didn't take the injectors out and clean them, and the injection pump, I didn't mess with any of that. I probably should have, but I was just trying to save some time because it kind of smoked a little bit, you know, later on and stuff. And it's just because the injectors and the you know, injection pump and stuff. So it had a little bit of a diesel drip, you know, type deal. But the head was good. We just went ahead and put new valves in, reseated the seats, make sure the seats were all good, and I was able to use everything, the block, the head, the crank, you know, and just did a basic overhaul on it. And I got lucky with that. Yeah, you can see right there, see how these two pistons aren't moving the same. So obviously that's a clear indication there's a problem. Surprise, surprise. Uh-oh. You see, that guy shut it down just in the right amount of time, because we could have been a catastrophic failure. Hole in the block, damaged crank, so we got lucky there. He shut it down just in time. And we actually reused the rods. And, you know, the crank, you know, there was nothing wrong with the crank. So we got lucky, you know, on this one. What the? Dude? Yeah, we're just going to get this all cleaned up, check everything to make sure everything's good. We're also going to check for liner protrusion to make sure everything's, you know, within spec and stuff like that. But, you know, this is a DT466, and it's a really easy, nice engine to work on, and I enjoyed working on it because I like the design. It's a lot different than CAD and Cummins and stuff, and, you know, it's just a real simple, easy engine to rebuild. Cam bearings.
Hello, hello. We found I was on air.
Now what we're doing here is we're just kind of giving it a real light cleanup and stuff. We're not using anything too aggressive here, so that way we're not really digging into the block and stuff like that. I already used a straight edge on here to make sure it's decent. You know, I mean, technically you can, you know, send it to the machine shop and have it decked, and that way it's, you know, 100%. But, you know, we're not doing anything too aggressive. That's not sandpaper or anything. We're not really using a very aggressive disc and stuff. We're just giving it a real good cleaning and stuff. And I mean, I've used sandpaper and stuff. If you put it on a 2x4 or something like that, sand it down and that kind of thing. Well, this isn't really a how-to video, but I'm just going to cut this off and stuff. And sometimes you can pry them off, cut them off, but be careful. Washed out bearings pretty bad. Caught them just in time before damage started. I mean, there was nothing left of these suckers.
Yes, hon. Hon.
know. As you can tell here, the journals came out really nice. That one still had a couple of little lines in it, but not that big of a deal. We don't need nothing perfect, you know, that's not how we operate. You know, there's a little bit there, right? So, you know, with what we got doing and stuff, we are in good shape. Here we're going to action with the solvent gun. We're just using gas to clean everything out. I already went ahead and cleaned out everything with water first and got all the major junk out. And now we're just going through and getting everything all nice and inspected and cleaned. We're just checking the bores of the cam bearings, making sure everything looks good. Just checking everything over, you know. When you're doing an engine stuff, you need to look at everything. Getting ready to install new bearings, checking things out, just making sure everything's good to go here. So we're doing mains right now. So we're getting ready to install the cam bearings here, and I'm doing some preliminary work, making sure everything lines up and everything good to go. But really, on this particular one, it wouldn't matter where the cam bearing, I think it was the two inner ones where the cam bearing actually went, because it had a groove cut in the cam bearing itself. This one here, I'm pretty sure this one needed to be, you know, right where it needed to be. I don't remember if the block was machined for the oil to roll around on the bearing itself on the outside or not, but I do remember having a problem with one of the center bearings when I put the cam in there. It was just too darn tight, so I ended up, you know, just lightly taking some material off on the bearing. I know that's typically not a very good thing to do. You don't usually want to do that, but the cam was just too darn tight in there. So, and I went to International directly for these cam bearings and stuff, because You know, the first set, I don't remember, something happened with it or what, but anyway, I ended up getting another set from International directly down there at the truck dealer, and you know, we put the cam bearings in, got everything all good to go, and that kind of thing here. So time to bring the cranky in here. Time for new liners, pistons, and piston rings here. I'm getting ready to put those in, put them together. here we're getting ready to remove the old valves and put the new ones in. I don't remember if I put new valve guides in there. Maybe we did. Let's see if we have any video on it here. I'm doing this the kind of the slow, old-fashioned way. Normally speaking, I just take the head and I'll put it on the table or whatever, and we'll just hit it with a hammer and a socket, and then the keepers come right out real easy. But I'm not doing it this way around this time. I'm doing it the slow way. So who knows why, but that's what we're doing. Here we are torquing the caps for the mains, and then we'll be doing the connecting rods next here. Head gasket going on. Time to put the head on. I'm pretty sure we got everything checked out, ready to go now at this point. Time for the bolts. Rocker arm assembly here. Time to torque them down here. we're doing the overhead, making sure the valves are all good to go as far as the clearance and all that. Here we are connecting the fuel lines and trying to bleed them out, getting them ready. We're going to do a real quick test fire just to make sure things are decent before we do a little bit more longer run on it. All we're trying to do here is just spin the motor over so that way we can get oil up to everything, get it all good to go with the oil and stuff. And we're sitting here priming it up right now a little bit to get the fuel up there. It should crank over here. So now we know it runs good. So far, we're going to do some other maybe adjustments and a few other things, put the valve cover on and some other different things. But I think we're in good shape now. So we're going to do another test run on it outside, and then get ready to haul it back up to the hills and put it in the machine. Now that the motor's good to go, we are making the hoses for the tilting cylinders, and then we're going to repack the cylinders for the hydraulic, for the bucket tilting cylinders, and that kind of stuff here. So. Well, that pretty much concludes the round here for the motor and the rams. I'm getting ready to load all this stuff up, take it back up and install it. I went ahead and spent about 2 weeks on this. I didn't want to spend a whole lot more time, because I had to order parts, and then there was a few parts I need to order. Once I got into the engine, there was some stuff additional that I needed to get, and then and then doing the hydraulic rams, and then doing the hoses and stuff. So I spent 2 weeks. So I spent about a day pulling the motor, and then 2 weeks rebuilding, and then I went back up for about a week putting everything back together, and then hauling the machine to the land, so that way I can start cutting the road out. But this is the first of this one. Now the next video is going to be going and installing the motor itself.